Hello and welcome to the PCTA TV. We will be bringing you the latest school news, world news, and entertainment.
In our episode this week, we sat down with PCTA Skills USA advisor Mrs. Seta in a podcast format in order to learn more about the Skills USA program and what it is all about.
You can check us out on our PCTA Graphics YouTube channel or click on the link provided on the PCTA school site.
Make sure you hit subscribe and smash that like button to get instant notifications when new videos are posted.
We hope you enjoy the show and see you next week. Hey guys, welcome back to our PCTA podcast. Today we have the pleasure to have the biggest help when it comes to preparing us for Skills USA. Give it up for Mrs. Seta.
Thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's my first podcast. I'm excited.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm nervous.
Nothing to be nervous about.
So today we're going to ask you a few questions. And we're going to start off with, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So, I graduated from Johnson High School. I'm going to shout out Mr. Lamontia because him and I went to high school together.
Really?
I won't say who's older, who's younger. I'll keep that secret. But yes, I went to Johnson High School. I play sports. I still play sports. So when I was in high school, I played basketball, softball, soccer. Wow. I still play softball 3 nights a week. I coach my teams. Let's see. College, I went to CCRI because I really had no idea what I wanted to do when I got out of high school. And then I went to Rick to become a teacher. And then I went to University of Phoenix to get a science degree.
Really?
And here I am.
Oh my God.
That's it. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wait, you're not the softball coach?
I'm not the softball coach here. Between doing skills and my other stuff, it's just too much.
Wait, so you're like a science teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Oh my God, you should teach us science. If you could like think about your childhood and if you could like look back in time, did you ever like imagine being like who you are and where you are today? Do you need inspiration? I got you.
You got me. Perfect inspiration. Thank you. That's a tough question to answer. I think in terms of like who I am, where I am, I think I'm where I thought I would be, like in terms of like I have a career, I have a good family, I have great friends. Like I think in that aspect, I definitely didn't want to be a teacher at the beginning. Like it wasn't something like, well, not that it wasn't my first career choice, just as I always wanted to be like a doctor, like a pediatrician. So I knew I wanted to work with children. And then when I got into college, I kind of found the education path and I ended up here. So I think in terms of that, I didn't see that coming. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people go through that.
Yeah.
They change their minds.
But I'm glad you're here with us now.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I'm here with you guys too.
And helping us, through everything.
So tell us, how did Skills USA catch your attention? Take us back a little bit.
I'm going to take you way back. All right. So this is my 8th year here at PCTA. So my first year here, one of the culinary arts teachers who used to work here had a student who was working in, who was in culinary, and he was participating in a skills contest called Action Skills. And I was like one of his teachers, so they asked me to like help him like do his presentation. Never even heard of what skills was. Didn't even know about it until this teacher asked me and helped the student. I remember his project was cutting down a chicken. So he like deboned a chicken and broke it down to all the different pieces. And he ended up winning gold at the state level. And then they were like, oh, since you mentored him, you get to go to national. I was like, nationals? Like, what are you talking about? And I got to go to Kansas City, Missouri and got to see like what the national competition was. And from then I've been involved every year since. So if it wasn't for them asking for my help, I don't think I would be involved in skills the way I am. And then eventually I became the advisor and here I am today. Here I am.
Us as students, well, especially like my group, we got very overwhelmed just like preparing for skills. I got overwhelmed just like brainstorming for an idea. We can only imagine how that's like for you. Like if you do have stress, how do you like handle it with? Because you have to like, you do skills like for every single department here.
So I think, and this is definitely advice that's easier to say than to sometimes take, but don't be afraid to ask for help. So like you just, even though like I'm the PCTA advisor of skills advisor of PCTA, it doesn't mean I'm the only person who should be doing schools, who knows about skills. Like I need, the tech teachers to help out. I have like certain students in the school that I rely on to do certain things that I can like delegate work to. So I think being able to have other people who can help you is like how I manage the stress the best. Yeah.
Okay, so for our listeners who don't know anything about Skills USA, what are something that you can tell them, like to give them a little information, and how do they get involved when it comes to skills?
Okay. So what most students probably don't know is that as soon as you become a student at PCTA, you're automatically a registered member of Skills USA. So Skills USA is like a program, like a student organization that helps students who are in CTE programs. So when you guys come here, we automatically make you a member, and that member gives you many benefits. It can allow you to compete in competitions, like you girls are competing in promotional bulletin board. There's t-shirt design. I mean, there's 60-something categories that students in the state of Rhode Island can compete at. So that's one way to be involved. Another way is doing like leadership training. So twice a year, we have leadership conferences that the entire state, so all schools who are CTE schools participate in these conferences, and you get to like meet with different students from different schools and learn like leadership skills versus like the skilled stuff. So like you get to learn about how to, work in teams, how to communicate better, how to write resumes, things like that. So that's one way, and those are held twice a year. This year was a little bit different, obviously, because of COVID. And then you also can do what's called a state officer. So our state officer this year is Eugenie. She's a sophomore, and she's in the pre-engineering program. And she's like the PCTA representative. And every year we can nominate one student to represent PCTA, and then they join the Rhode Island team. So they become like the Rhode Island student representatives for the whole state. And they go through different leadership trainings too. They get to go to Washington, D.C. They go out to the national conference. And even just like coming to talk to me and just saying, I want to be a part of skills, and maybe you're not ready to compete, but there's different things that we can have you do throughout the school. So there's a lot of different ways that you can be in skills.
So it's like good to sign up, so like a lot of kids don't miss like an opportunity. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's like I've had a lot of kids tell us that it helps them like boost their confidence, and it's something that out of their comfort zone that they didn't think that they would be good at, and just being so maybe some kids like don't want to compete in competition because it makes them nervous. So there's other things they can do that can make them be involved. That doesn't have to do with competitions.
Yeah,
Yep.
like me, I get terrified of presenting.
Well,
That's
you're doing a great job, so you shouldn't be terrified.
What do you hope to see next year for the students that will be competing in Skills USA?
I hope things are back to normal. So I think that this year and even the end of last year, the students who did compete have missed out on a lot of opportunities, like not being able to go to nationals and competing virtually is a totally different experience than actually going away. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that that's back to normal. And I just hope that there's kids out there who aren't afraid to, put themselves out there and try something different. And, it's okay if you aren't gold medal winners the first time you do something, but it's about the experience and learning. So I just hope that there's more kids who want to get involved, and we can, keep making PCTA proud and winning medals. Yeah.
And do you like love your job? I see you enjoy it. You like
I do.
Running around and everything. Do you like it?
I do. I'm a high energy person, so I like to move around a lot. So I like it gives me, because my job as I'm a special ed science teacher, so sometimes I only work with certain students. Mm-hmm. So this is a way for me to work with all kids in the school. So I like that about it. Yeah.
That's nice. Do you want to tell us about high school? You should tell us about high school, miss.
Like about my high school?
Yeah.
Give
us advice.
Oh. I mean, I think just don't be afraid. Like, what kind of advice? Like, I don't know what you're trying to say.
To me, you like you present yourself as very confident. I can see you like doing that like in high school. Like for me, I'm just like more like quiet, But this is all new for me.
Yeah, but being quiet doesn't mean you're not confident.
Well,
so there's different levels of confidence.
It's like very hard when I step out of my comfort zone.
But you're stepping out of it right now, and you're doing a good job. So listen, it's just you just gotta not be afraid to take risks with what you're doing today, right? This is like probably a big step for you. Mm-hmm. And I think like just making sure that you have like good support around you, good friends and teachers you can talk to and confide in and ask for their support and stuff. I think that's like the best advice. Is just don't be afraid to ask for help and surround yourself with people who are just gonna bring you up. Mm-hmm. That's it.
I got mine right.
That's it. Then you got a good one.
Yeah. I have a question that's not on the script.
That's fine.
But how skills was like last year and this year. How when we did skills, we were with the assistant principals, so we did it on Zoom, and then this year we did it with like the teachers. Usually, how does it actually work when it's not like COVID? Do we work with other different people or just our teachers, and then we go over to compete in nationals?
Good question. So typically, like when we do this, we start like in December having kids like see what competitions are out, what you want to be involved in. And then in January, we register all the students and you start practicing for whatever competition we register. And there's different host sites. So sometimes PCTA, in the past, we've hosted like the cosmetology competitions, nail care, and aesthetics. CCRI usually hosts the most competitions. And then each contest has a set of judges that are not people from your school. So it might be industry professionals. It could just be other people who volunteer. So similar to how you did on Zoom, like last year in front of the assistant principals and this year in front of a couple teachers, it would be the same type of environment, only in front of people you don't know. So it'd be like 2 to 3 judges, still judging you the same way, still doing the presentation, but you'd be on site doing it. So it'd be like a whole day field trip.
Because I remember we were supposed to go to CCRI that day.
Yeah. Yep.
Also, like, off, like, the thing. I remember when I first, like, came here, like, freshman year. Like, I know skills was only, like, you know, to, like, go out there, meet other people, like you said, you know, like, leadership and, like, yeah. But does, like, skills, like, benefit, like, when, like, you graduate and, like, applying to college and stuff like that?
Absolutely. So one of the big things that Skills is working on right now is what's called, like, the framework. And you may have seen it. You guys probably have a lot of experience with this, that triangle with the 3 different parts.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the personal skills, the workplace skills, and the technical skills. So this is the items that Skills is really trying to like make sure that every student gets, whether you're choosing to leave high school and go into a career or go into college. There's certain skills that you guys need, and Skills helps to teach those skills. And it's good to put on your resume, because if you have someone who attends a high school that doesn't have CTE and you guys are a CTE member and a skills member, that's kind of what's going to separate you from other students, and you have a different experience to talk about. So I think it definitely helps with building up your resume and developing those career essential skills.
And also, like, as a person, to be honest, like, because, like, you can, like, really tell, like, oh, this is for me. No, this isn't for me. And, you know, like, some kids don't like working individually, and then some other, like, working through groups. Like, it helps them figure out, and, like, I think that's, like, the only, like this school, and I appreciate that we have this, and we have you, like, guiding this through us, like, because, like, I forgot what I was saying. It just, like, helps us, like, like, when we leave, you know, it's not just, like, textbook and stuff, like, it just
it's something you can take away, and you can say, like, I learned this, and, like, you can show that you learned instead of telling someone you learned. Like, you can say, I agree.
Okay. Once again, thank you, Mrs. Seta, for joining us here. You're welcome back anytime.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mrs. Seta. That's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening to our PCTA podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode to find out who our special guest will be here at PCTA. Thank you, guys.
My baby has been